Hello folks, this is Andrew Carter with the News and Observer coming at you live here at the Smith Center following North Carolina's 75-64 loss against Virginia. It looked like UNC was going to lose this game in the second half, especially late, after Virginia turned a 4-point lead into a 13-point lead with a nice little 9-0 run for those guys. And just kind of one of those games where you're thinking, okay, UNC loses, Virginia's a pretty good team, not time to hit the panic button just quite yet. And that was kind of what I thought after this game, until really I heard from Marcus Paige afterward. Paige really had some damning things to say about effort, about hustle, about some of his teammates not buying in. I can read you some of these things that he said. I was kind of surprised a little bit to hear his reaction, which was so, I don't want to say negative, but just pretty forceful after this loss. One of the things he said, we can't keep talking about change. We've got to have guys look in the mirror and decide they're going to change, buy in, and then some good things will happen. Another thing he said later on after that, it's nothing we haven't learned from earlier losses. You look back at the Kentucky loss, the Iowa loss, the Butler loss, he said it's the same type of story. He said it's February. You know, he said the season's rolling. Great teams at this time are meshing together. You don't have to keep on preaching effort, keep on preaching buying in, not worrying about your individual self. So that was straight from Marcus's Paige mouth tonight. Obviously some very damning things about just where the Tar Heels are at mentally. And basketball is a weird game. You go back a couple days ago, UNC is up by 18 points early in the second half against Louisville. It looks like they're going to be winning their 7th consecutive game, possibly playing for first place. Well, tonight was still playing for a share of first place, but playing for first place outright here on Monday night against Virginia. And then everything fell apart at Louisville. Same kind of script here. UNC played well in the first half, was up by a point at halftime. I thought played pretty well and was in a pretty good position entering the second half, and then it just kind of fell apart after 8 or 9 minutes in the second half. UNC started making shots, they couldn't get stops on the other end, had some silly turnovers, and that's how you go from a promising first half to a really kind of ugly finish here. So the good news for the Tar Heels, at least, they have a few days, perhaps in theory, to rest this week. No game until Saturday at Boston College. Obviously, they've had a lot of guys hurt. Looks like Joel Berry might be getting healthy, that he might be able to play this weekend. He's been dressed at least the past couple games. We'll have to wait and see. Marcus Paige has been banged up. Maybe he gets a little bit healthier. Bryce Johnson's been dealing with the back issue. So perhaps the Tar Heels can rest and get well. They're going to need it. It seems like this team is in a rough place mentally, especially judging by what Marcus had to say afterward. But for the News and Observer, this has been Andrew Carter. Thank you so much for watching.